Hey card makers, welcome to my studio. Today let's talk about 8 beginner tips for layering die cuts on handmade cards. Let's get started. I want to show you how to create a super quick card and talk about all the different tips. There's 8 different tips I'm going to share with you today, and you don't have to write them down because I have a tip sheet that you can get. So I want to do that by showing you the ephemera packs. So the ephemera packs come with labels, there's words, there are all kinds of elements, and there's one just on flowers. This is just the first page. There's a variety of different ones in here as well. But we're just going to use mainly things on the first page here, so that's why I wanted to show you. So we're going to use some different words. We're going to stick with some pinks and a little bit of teal, and we're going to create a birthday greeting. Now I want to also use our basic white note cards and envelopes, and I have pulled everything out, and then all you're going to need are some adhesives. So I have my liquid glue here, and I have both my mini dimensionals and my Stampin' Dimensionals. And then I'm also just going to pull in my Take Your Pick tool, which I have right here. Okay, so one of the very first things that you want to think about when you're layering die cuts is that you want to use, for quickness, some pre-cut shapes. Now, if you have some pre-cut shapes of your own dies that you've cut, they'll work equally as well. But for doing something really quick, these are ephemera packs really do work well. So what we're going to do, we want to mix them up a little bit, so you want to have some variety, but you want to keep things very similar. You want to have similar sizes. So you don't want to have a big and just a little tiny one. You want to be able to group these together so that you can create a focal point. So you also want to have coordinating colors. So we have in this one right here, this is the color, the one where I picked my colors. You've got a little bit of light pink, you've got a little bit of pool party or a light teal, and then you have more of a purpley pink and almost a coral color there. So we have pink here, and we have that sort of purpley color here, and we have a little bit of that light teal here. And then there's a lot of black and white, so that's why we've chosen this one. So what you want to do when you are starting to work with this is you want to think, how many images do I need? And I would suggest that you pick an odd number. So you want to have 3 or 5. With 7, you might want to have 4 of them be small and 3 of them be large. 7 is getting to be quite a few unless they're fairly small die cuts. So we want to create a focal point. So how do we do that? So I'm going to do that on my card. So here's my card. I'm going to lay it flat until I have it all put together. So I'm going to lay my, I'm not sure what you call this, my little stand over top of the circle. And then I'm also going to put the pink in the background. Now, I don't want to see this part here. I don't think it really fits with the rest. So how do I want to do this? If I want to put that underneath, I want to be able to hide that. And I want to have this down here. So this looks like it's coming out of the top. So how about if we do this instead? Okay, that's not bad. So now I have grouped those all together, and I've created a focal point, which is sort of in the middle. And then I have to think about, where am I going to put my words? I can put my words along the bottom or the top. Probably along the top is better. And then a little heart. So you've created a focal point, you've grouped them all together, and note that they're all touching. They don't have to all be touching each other, but the whole group itself has to be one continuous piece, if that makes sense. And you'll also notice that I created and I placed the smaller die cuts towards the front. So let's sort of glue this down. We'll put a couple of them up on dimensionals. I think the words will be dimensionals. This cart will be dimensionals. So I'll put those on. Okay, so we are going to start by gluing down our pink one in the background. So that one's going to go pretty much in the center. So let's put it here in the center. Try and get it nice and straight. And then we're going to put this one so that it covers up those seagulls. So this is how you can, if you wanted to keep those seagulls, go ahead and cut them off and use them for another project. And I'm going to put this one over here so that I can see the leaves on this side. And then we'll go ahead and put on our little cart. And I'm going to place that again so it's all touching and try and get that nice and straight. And I'm not placing that one down really hard yet because I want to make sure that my words are going to fit. So let's put our words up on top here. Try and get those nice and straight as well. Just see, needs to come up just a little bit. There we are. And then we're going to put our heart. And I think we might put our heart on with dimensionals as well. One large dimensional. Now, if you had smaller pieces, that's where your mini dimensionals would come in, but I don't need them for this today. There you go. So that is just going to cover that up. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to just fold this, pinch your corners together, and then take your bone folder and then give it a nice crisp edge. This is thick basic white cardstock, so it needs a nice crisp edge to make it lie flat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take an envelope. So there's an envelope to match, and there is one little cupcake like this. You could put the cupcake inside if you wanted. That would certainly work. I'm going to put it on the envelope. And then you have a coordinated card. So let me show you another example and we'll just run through all of those tips again. So this is another one all made with dies, and these are all pre-cut dies, so they didn't take me any time to cut out. I mixed up the shapes, so I have a rectangle. This one here is a rectangle. It's almost like a paper clip. It's sort of hard to see there, but this little part flips up. Then there's a leaf, and then this paper hug is interesting because it's not a circle, it's not a square. And then this is more of a circle. So you're going to mix up those shapes. You're going to pick some similar size die cuts. So this one here is large, but all the rest of them are smaller. So this is having a smaller look to it than this one is. You've got coordinating or matching colors. So we have some greens, and then we have sort of a coral and some oranges. So we have sort of the same color tones going on. We have an odd number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And the focal point here is a little off to the right, so it adds a little bit more interest. We have smaller die cuts in the front, and they are popped up. So those are our 8 tips. Now make sure that you head on over and sign up for my email and pick up your own beginner tips and keep them handy so that when you start layering your die cuts, you'll remember a lot of these key tips. So please go ahead and click on the subscribe button so that you don't miss another video. Have a wonderful paper crafting day, and we'll see you in the next one.